From Rich Alvarez in Northern California, this is Video Game Fights. And now your host, Rich Alvarez.
Hello, and welcome to Video Game Fights, Episode 3, although we're not really numbering these episodes. And by now, I'm sure this is your favorite program on YouTube, and if it's not, then it should be. Don't forget to go ahead and like this video right away, and tell all your friends about it. I'm Rich Alvarez. We're going to have a fantastic show here, and the first thing we're going to do is go down the line and introduce everyone. So, Mr. Cameraman, Camera 2.
This is camera 2.
This is camera 2. All right.
Hi, guys.
So here's Jackie.
I'm Jax Alvarez. I am the Pokemon champion in every single region, and I have caught them all.
There you go. And then next to her is Claudia.
I'm Claudia.
You sure are.
AKA Pauline, if you didn't know already.
She plays Pauline in Stupid Mario World, in case you're one of those crazy people that actually watches everything on this channel.
Hashtag Pauline is queen.
Pauline is queen and also crazy bitch.
And then to her left is a very special guest. You may recognize him from the Fact Cam usually. It's Derek Colson.
Yay!
Hi, my name's Derek, and I'm ready to bring the heat.
Now, you may be wondering, if Derek Colson is right here, then who's controlling all the cameras in the computer? Well, let's take it back to the Fact Cam, and it's Garrett drinking a beer.
This is gonna go well.
Mm-hmm. Now, Garrett, you just won last week. How do you feel?
You know, I feel great. That was great. Yeah, it was super good after getting kind of wrecked the first round, or I guess the first episode that we filmed with this. But yeah, no, a victory last week was fun. Not to mention, that was just a fun episode.
Yeah.
That was just a good, well-rounded episode. But I'm eager to see what we have in store for this week.
All right.
So I will be holding down the whole tech fort back here, so...
Don't count on it being good.
Oh, it's going to be great, all right? It's going to be great.
No guarantees. No guarantees.
All right, well,
No.
You guys know how this works. We're going to have 5 rounds, and they will be given 2 minutes each to give me their answers in the form of a pitch, and then after that, they will fight until I am satisfied that there is a winner. I will ring my bell. That will be the end of each round. And then when we have 2 finalists, we will go into a speed round after those 5 rounds. All right, guys, are you ready to play Video Game Fights?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, then let round 1 begin. All right, question number 1. Which video game has the best soundtrack? And we are starting with Jax.
Okay, well, my decision is Final Fantasy VIII. It was released in 1999, and it is a great, fun little story about Cloud. No. Nope, it's about Squall. It's about Squall. I told you. I told you I'd rather fact check. Alright, let's just go
We
ahead.
have established that it's about Squall and not Cloud.
Yes, it is about Squall and not Cloud. And it was released in 1999. And you know what? The best thing about it is that the soundtrack has actually paved the way, and it impacted the game so much. And that is thanks to Nobuo Uematsu, who is the composer. He also composed Chrono Trigger, all of the Final Fantasies 1 through 13, and the Super Smash Bros. Brawl main theme. There are orchestrated albums with the Final Fantasy VIII. Nobuo Uematsu has been compared to John Williams. He's just a great guy. He's a great guy.
All right. Okay, then let's move on to Claudia. Claudia, what video game has the best soundtrack?
Well, that was kind of a difficult choice since I did actually think of Final Fantasy first, but I would have to say that the 2012 game Journey, which if you haven't heard of it, I highly recommend it. It's not a very long game. It's only about 2 hours of gameplay, but it's like this mystical world where you're in a desert and it goes into these mountains, and it's like these mystical creatures that never talk. There's no dialogue in this entire game, and so it's heavily focused on its gorgeous visuals and the soundtrack, which is basically this beautiful orchestration with some light vocalizations, and it just like really puts you in this like mystical lore setting, and it's both relaxing and stimulating at the same time, which I feel like is really good and different for most video games, because you think of like, oh, it's gonna be actiony, dramatic. No, this is just something out of this world, completely unique. And this game has won so many awards, like Game of the Year 2012, GameSpot 2012, DICE Awards 2013, PlayStation Lifestyle 2012, and Killscreen 2012. So it's won so many awards, and it's literally a game changer.
Okay, moving on to Mr. Coulson.
It's worth mentioning that Jackie and Claudia were within like 2 seconds of each other as far as their answers.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
So back to that thing that we do.
Minute 40.
Beat our time.
Minute 16, minute 18.
Awesome. All right, Derek Coulson, what is the best video game soundtrack?
By far, Katamari Damacy. It not only won IGN 2004 Best Soundtrack of the Year, it is one of the most entertaining musical adventures while you're doing what is otherwise a mindless game. Mind you, all you do is roll around. You get a ball, you roll around the whole world, and your entire goal is just to collect stuff. That's it. That's the premise of the whole game. That's all you do. But the whole time you're playing it, you can do nothing but smile. You're sitting there just in your head when you're done playing the game, singing the song. La 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 Katamari Damacy. And that's it. And it'll be in your head. It'll be in your head for weeks. This song has made the game a cult classic. It's one of those that if you ever bring up Katamari, everybody starts by going la la. It's that same tune that everyone knows. Now, I understand as far as like a multiple level of depth goes, it doesn't seem like it has that out the gate, because what gets stuck in your head is that little rolling around tune. However, as they do scene transitions, and as they have so many different items in the game that you roll up, it doesn't feel like one takes over the other. They did a great job not only in the soundtrack, but in the way they incorporate the rest of the noises into what you do. So as you win and as those transitions come, the music's fluid. They don't have those stark transitions that a lot of games like to do nowadays, where they jump scare you with the next biggest song or the next greatest noise. But it is by far one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard.
Fantastic. All right, I would like to remind you all that at the end of the day...
40.
Nice. This is a game where we argue passionately and creatively, but at the end of the day, we're all going to shake hands and be friends. So, having said that, fight.
All right, I'm going out the gate. We're going out the gate on this one. By the way, now, Claudia, I understand you had some light vocalizations once, and, penicillin cleared that right up for me. It's by far, it sounds like it's terminal. I recommend you get some medication. You recommended the visuals for Journey. I understand that's important in a game. But as far as the soundtrack goes, it kind of just sounded like a wispy air noise that somebody was blowing through two fake palm trees in their home. I wasn't a huge fan. Also, as far as the length and the breadth of the music, 2 hours, E40 has more music on one album than 2 hours. Jackie, you're not out of the woods yet. Have you heard John Williams?
Yeah, girls.
Because he is a legend. He is beautiful. And I heard Squall make some good noises. Just wanted to say.
I just want to say who invited him. Get out.
I did not.
No one invited you. You weren't even supposed to be here.
I know, you weren't even supposed to be here.
These aren't even your answers for one thing. You stole these answers from your brother.
Derek Coulson is actually supposed to be here every week.
I did not agree to this.
No, look. Yeah, we did not vote on this. This is literally something that happened last night. I'm arguing with Richie about this decision that we should not invite Derek ever again.
Full disclosure.
Because he's mean.
Full disclosure.
Mean.
Stephen Coulson.
Your choice.
I'm never going to be able to say that.
We did not agree to this.
Order.
Supposed to be defending their answers.
No.
There will be no... Okay, listen.
That's not even an argument.
What they're referencing is that you remember last week, Stephen Coulson, he was supposed to return. Stephen is actually Derek's brother, and when Stephen got sick, Derek so kindly took his place.
You're welcome.
But no, Derek's doing a great job. That's how this game is played. And with that, saying, Jackie, I need to hear more from you. Why is your soundtrack better than theirs?
It is number 4 on the Japan Oricon charts. I have no clue what that means, but I just looked it up for some good, fun stuff. And also, something else I know that means something is the PlayStation Magazine claimed it is one of the most memorable scores you will ever hear. The game's impact is definitely owed to the musical score. It has 74 tracks and over 4 hours of wonderfulness.
Okay.
All right. Wonderfulness.
All right, so Claudia, what makes your soundtrack better than Final Fantasy VIII's?
Well, when I looked at the trailer for Final Fantasy VIII because I am a game noob. I'm very sorry. I don't know why I'm on this show. To be honest, Richie was like, "Hey, Claudia, do you want to be a part of this?" I'm like, "I don't freaking know anything, but sure, let's." I'll just be the entertainment here. I'm more like a piñata to this guy, but it's fine. Anyways, when I looked at the trailer for Final Fantasy, while it is beautifully done, especially with the chorus and everything, at some point it felt overwhelming, and it was kind of sounded just like a lot of noise. I don't know if that just happens throughout the entire game or if that was just the trailer and that was just getting everyone hyped up, but I prefer something a little bit less stressful. But for some people who like something much more exciting, then I guess that's epic.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
It just seemed a little bit much.
A lot of the games are fighting for this grandiose sound.
Yeah.
I really have an appreciation for the games that are just kind of that light rolling.
Yeah, more like O Fortuna. I've actually sang that in choir. And a lot of people use that for movie trailers and video game music, like Oh Fortuna, and then dun 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 dun. If you look it up, you'll know. But that is an intensive song, and it creates the drama and the intensity, and it's so overdone, and it's just annoying, and so it's beautiful, but I prefer something different. Lighter or just different.
And that is the end of round 1.
That was spicy.
I'm gonna go to Fat Cam.
Yeah.
All right. Fat Cam. I'm back here in what looks like another room behind the studio lighting. I promise I'm just 6 feet from these people.
Mr.
You can
Allen,
hear
would
me.
you please explain to the audience? What do you think, Aaron? Who do you think brought the most with this round?
Oh well, I'm going to go ahead and go with the contentious opinion and say that as far as arguments go, and I think you'd probably agree with me, Derek's was the most put together specifically for the reason that he described the experience so aromatically. He went in there he didn't just, it wasn't just like a constraint of facts, but it was objectively true observations about the game, and then he brought it home in an emotional way by saying, this is what they feel. And then the very, very objectively true statement that, whenever you bring up Katamari Damacy, it's a stupid song. It's so good. That being said, screw you. Journey is beautiful.
Thank you. I was
Hot, terrifying tears. Okay, so oh my god. So that being said,
I have no idea, but
I think that here's the thing.
You get chills.
It's about the arguments. I have to take all my biased opinions out of the fact.
Derek's was the better argument, but I mean, I'm a little mad you threw Journey under the bus because that game is incredible.
I also think Claudia did very well explaining the atmosphere of her soundtrack. But Derek did bring the juice, I guess I would say. Jackie, I think that you kind of crumbled under pressure a little bit because you accidentally said cloud at the beginning, and I think if you hadn't done that, you would have been more confident going forward in your presentation.
She was the first one to answer too.
Yeah, if you mess it up,
but
You can just cut it out.
because I saw that, and then also Claudia was doing. Remember, we had this problem during round 1 because you guys kept doing this too. When you're like, I'm just not very good at this. That hurts your case, a little bit. So
I know, but I'm just being real with you guys.
she's just being real.
I believe.
All right, don't worry. I know this is you guys' first time doing this, so you'll get better. Trust me. In round 2, it'll be like a whole other game. You guys gonna get better at this.
We'll see about that.
However,
that was our favorite question.
the point does go
most
to Derek.
fast.
Derek wins round 1.
Woo! Congratulations, you asshole.
Okay.
Yes.
We are going to move directly into round 2. So, round 2. All right, starting this time with Claudia. Claudia, what is the best Super Mario game?
Alright, I'm gonna be real again. The only Super Mario game I've ever played was Mario 64. Because all I had was Nintendo 64, and I got that as a gift. But from what I've observed as I looked through all of the Mario games throughout history, the one that really stuck out the most to me was Galaxy. And I thought it was a very unique take on a classic character and game that we all know for generations and decades, but it also brought like a whole new side of the gameplay because it's not so two-dimensional where you're just like walking and you're jumping. It's like more 3D, like you're in outer space, you know? And it also introduced new characters while still having some of the old favorite characters and villains and bosses. And it's still adorable, but yet exciting and fun. And it's challenging still, so it's great for both young and older characters. So it's not just some kind of kiddie game. It's still great for even us to play and still feel stimulated and enough of a challenge.
Okay. Now, Derek, what is the best Super Mario game?
It's a rather interesting choice. There's a lot of great games. I was really hung up on going between any of the Mario Karts, which I would argue is a Super Mario game. But on this part, I really enjoyed my experience and time with Super Mario Maker. Just some light facts behind it so you can see how much other people also enjoyed it. This was the only game to keep the Wii U afloat in 2015. The only reason they had sales was because of this release in 2015. When it came out, it was the first time Nintendo had moved into this realm of not a level maker, because those have been around for a long time, but we're looking at an item where you can share it with your friends, and you can do it relatively easily. It's just, here's my level code, jump in, play this thing I made. There has been probably more Wii U controllers broken from Super Mario Maker than actually were sold. It's rather sad. The Super Mario Maker...
Also physically impossible.
The Super Mario Maker, not if they get repaired. Super Mario Maker also just really allows you to feel what the developers felt making the first Mario game. I had a personally great time just kind of like trying to develop that fun, quick side-scroller that really set Super Mario apart from everything at the time. Super Mario Maker really brought that development into the home, and I think that's one of the very few games that truly brought you to that level of a founding developer. So yeah, that's why I like Super Mario Maker.
All right.
And Cap, this is my essay. Derek goes,
And that's how America won the West. All right. All right.
and this is my
Moving on to Jack. Jackie, what is the best Super Mario game?
Super Mario World, released in 1990. It introduced the fan favorite Yoshi. The game centers around Mario and Luigi saving Dinosaur Land from Bowser. It sold 20 million copies and is considered to many to be the best game ever made. And it was re-released 4 times. That being said, I had a really great time playing Super Mario World. I just love the atmosphere and the sprites in that. I can make roller beads for hours in that style, and I really love Super Mario World.
All right, you done?
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, fight!
So I actually wrote for... I mean, I could get on Jackie's cake, but I wrote I Got Nothing.
That's right.
That was a fantastic game. Yoshi is my jam. I wrote that down. Super Mario Galaxy was actually one of my personal favorite games, next to Mario Maker. But I will say my only problem with Super Mario Galaxy was it really shrunk down the world. I know
that's true.
That's both literal and metaphorical. You could not take yourself. It felt like Mario was too big. And I know that's funny because you're literally running around worlds. It just felt out of place. It's the only game I played where I felt this wasn't a Mario game as much as I enjoyed it. So that's really what I got on this.
That's a good argument. However, I feel like if it was like bigger worlds, that would just maybe be too much. I mean, how long would that game be if you were actually going to do? How many worlds would you have to make? And this is also catered mostly for children, if you think about it. So it just would seem really overwhelming, and I think it kind of adds to the cutesy factor. I mean, if you look at a lot of cartoons and stuff, you know, big heads or whatever, little bodies, you know, different things like that. It's. Yeah, like I understand, but I think it adds to the cuteness factor and just makes it just a little bit easier to play, especially for younger audience.
The replayability on it.
Yeah.
I really love Super Mario Galaxy, although Super Mario Galaxy is the only Mario game that has made me dizzy.
That is true. It does kind of
it's
mess
just
with you.
that sphericalness.
It was like she said. It was made for kids.
Yeah.
It was really targeted to that.
Yeah, but I can see that it could cause that. I mean, imagine if it was for like virtual reality. I mean, that might be a
Get
great
on that,
idea.
Nintendo.
I know. You're welcome.
Yes.
But you know, and I could see that if you do have problems, which I know that you do, it could kind of mess with your head. So it does change the way you think, but it adds to the challenges of it as well.
Yeah, I got something to add to Super Mario World. As much as I was nice about it, you know, it was probably only one of those games that ended up becoming popular because of what came next. If it didn't end up catching that cult classic in Super Mario World 2 and in the arcade editions, if you're just judging the base Super Mario World, I really think it didn't have much to offer, even for the time. The colors that were presented on the palette, given the platform and the capabilities at the time, if you look up most other games at that time, they really missed out. I mean, they won with having like one of their first types of like developing styles and things like that, which I give them props to. But I think it was one of those where we love it so much now because of what it became.
Yeah, it was a classic.
That's how I would give it props.
I agree. And when I looked at it, it just seemed like, I don't know, just like a normal arcade game, you know. It didn't really wow me. I feel like because of the fact that it introduced Yoshi, I think that's kind of what made it more popular. It's like, oh, look, Yoshi, it's fun. And so it's like, it feels like it's riding the coattails of new characters, but not necessarily...
I can't read that.
Yoshi is my channel.
Yeah, it's like not necessarily the game itself. I guess it's like just mostly just the fondness of it and what it built up to, I guess you could say.
All right, real quick, Jackie, what makes your game better than theirs?
Okay, I was just...
That's what I was...
I really enjoy Super Mario World because of the vast amount of enemies in it, and actually the world, the Super Mario World. I was gonna say that I actually really dug the enemies and the stylization of all of them in it. But I have to say that Super Mario Maker, after playing online and some of the fan-made levels that fans have made of Super Mario Maker are quite trolly.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the big down. Like, I went online to play levels and I was like, oh, that's the con of Super Mario Maker.
So much rage.
All right. Okay. Woo. All right, back to the Fat Cam with Garrett. What did you think? Opinion, please.
Well, I have kind of two different sort of slews to lay out here. For starters, it's worth mentioning that objectively, like as far as objectifiable internet or evidence presented on the internet.
You had a stroke. Somebody call me that.
Those words.
Gotta get a new fact checker.
We're supposed to go in that order.
Fire this guy.
Based on the evidence projected on the internet, overwhelmingly the internet agrees with Jackie. That not only that Super Mario World was the best of the Mario franchise. There's like 5 or 6 different websites that are like completely on board with that I would categorize as, you know, topical in their nature. But also that despite the fact that what is it? Despite the fact that the Wii U is kept afloat by, which is that's a little bit more subjective. That's harder to prove. But
I looked it up.
I was going to say, certainly the evidence is there. I'm ready to clear it. I'm ready to say that's as factual as we can get. There is a lot of complaints as far as the idea that like that community never really got not toxic. that community remained that like they presented people with this awesome freedom, and that people turned around and kind of crapped on it.
My understanding is that Morton's salt actually specifically comes from the Mario Maker community.
I don't know about that. So Garrett, but who do you think had the best arguments?
As usual, Derek uses an argumentative style that's very, very close to mine, and the idea that he rings in both logic and emotion. But that being said, this was a clear, strong round for Jackie, Derek brought home definitely the best subjective evidence as far as like the idea that like his arguments that were made that were opinion based were the most well-rounded. But it's worth mentioning that Jackie hit the most objectively true bullet points. Yeah. So with that, I turn it over to you for your decision.
You know, I was kind of leading the same way. I think that I like, Jackie, how every time you say something, I feel like you're not 100% confident about it. You're like, well, here's my book report. Super Mario World. Oh God, it was made in 1990.
I really like Super Mario World because.
However,
and that's how.
I am so uncomfortable with doing this. Like,
you're not. Here's the thing. You're not winning any presentational points, but here's the thing, though. You said everything. You said everything about Super Mario World that I need to hear, and you were able to casually just be like, no, you guys are wrong. This is why this game is better. Although you guys also had great points for your games too.
Thanks, buddy.
But
are you giving this to me?
Yes, this is your point. Jackie wins round 2. Okay, so 1 point for Derek, 1 point for Jackie. Now, before we move on to round 3, I just want to say, like,
Confidence has gone from here to here.
Guys, like,
wait, what?
Like, Super Mario World never went to arcade.
But I didn't say it did. I said it looks like it.
Okay, well, I get to be biased in between rounds.
You know,
Super Mario World is the 4th overall Mario game, 5th if you count Donkey Kong. But
that's my husband you're talking
about. Everybody said that Super Mario Brothers 3 was the pinnacle of Mario, but maybe, yeah, of course, it was the best Mario on the NES. But when we got to Super Nintendo, that freaking Super Mario World looked amazeballs at that time.
But we're talking about now.
I don't care about now.
We didn't say
again. I'm being biased right now. Super Mario World is my favorite Mario game.
We said ever.
All right, and it's still better. Like we were playing Mario Maker. Get this. I was making my own Mario Maker levels with the Super Mario World, and then after an hour, I was like, you know what? I just gotta play the real game. And then I played real Mario World for like hours. I'm like, yeah, that's what it's about.
That's just because it's classic.
That's because I'm old. All right.
Yeah, that's just because it's classic. That doesn't mean it's the best. It just means like you just like those because you're nostalgic.
I've never played that one. So all of that was fabricated.
It's okay because I only played 64.
You would be right that I have a very strong nostalgic feelings for Super Mario World. However, it is also the best.
It is. As soon as you started talking about it, I realized I was talking about the wrong one because I've never played it.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, are you talking about Super Mario Brothers? Shut up. Super Mario Brothers. All right, sorry, I had to get that out of my system because this whole time I'm like, fucking Mario. Sorry,
I don't know. I'm still holding my.
You're not in the fact cam.
I still hold my.
What?
You're not in the fact cam. Okay. I am in the fact cam.
I chose not to get all preachy after the first round because I would just explode about how much better Final Fantasy VIII soundtrack is over there.
I know you would.
She was preaching to your Chrono Trigger.
I know
you
would.
Was coming.
Okay.
I know you would.
Round three. Sorry.
I live to troll.
I have to get because hey, you chose to watch your Calver's channel. It's your fault.
Yeah, you're not gonna last long.
Round 3, and this time we are starting with Derek. Yes. Derek, pitch the next Star Wars game.
Instead of Star Wars, we're gonna play Chrono Trigger. Just kidding. So by far the next Star Wars game I think would be a riot. Now that we have the beautiful combination that only Disney can provide.
Yes.
Marvel and Star Wars under the same roof for the first time in history. You have two of the largest, both video game, movie, and I would argue comic franchises of all time, all in the careful and loving hands of Disney. I like Disney.
Clearly.
So, in the Marvel vs. Star Wars game, imagine a Street Fighter style game, but taking it to that next level. You're in a Street Fighter Tekken style game where you're getting to experience all of your favorites from both Marvel and Star Wars in a realm that lets you pit them against each other. You have Yoda's ability to do stuff that is still indescribable, that can only be handled by CGI. That's one of the best things about the Star Wars universe. And in the Marvel universe, imagine Yoda up against the Hulk. That would be hilarious. I think it provides us a great opportunity to create that next level mashup that can only be done in a fighter. You could argue that, you have the Marvel canon in the universe with the gauntlet, and it just mixes in with a galaxy far, far away. That wouldn't work. It'd be awful.
Is that supposed to be me?
That'd be the worst.
Would you do that? Well,
So you just, it wasn't, but when you put them together,
It was.
The only way that makes sense is to have it in a fighter. And I really think you would have that next generation. That PS4 had tried to do with their combo game, their last combination fighter, where they added all of the people that Sony owned. They really missed out. I think this is the one that'll take us back.
okay. It's pretty solid. All right, Jackie, pitch us the next Star Wars game.
All right, I'm trying to be a little more suave now. All right, go back to 2013. Was it 2012 EA?
Let's go back to it.
It was about 2012.
2012 E3 when the announcement of this great Star Wars game called 1313 came out. We saw this fun little trailer where these two guys are going down to the underground area of Coruscant, known as Level 1313, where the scum of civilization live and kind of dwell in there. And these two guys are going down there. I don't think there's a clear objective in the trailer of what's going on. But anyway, things go awry, and it's a whole lot of fun stuff. And 2013 comes along, and it completely fails. They canceled the entire project, and to most people's dismay, it was a major bummer. Anyway, I would like my Star Wars game to be 1313. But when I looked on the Wikipedia for 1313, I came up with a short little snippet of it was supposed to revolve around Boba Fett in his early adulthood. And based on the trailer, I didn't see that. So I am going to pitch mine to a little bit closer to more on the lines of Boba Fett in his early childhood. And I think a game like that would be really fun because Jedis in video games about Star Wars, it's always done. Overdone, pod racing, done before, all that. Boba Fett. We need Boba Fett and him and his fun little gang of
Bounty hunters. All right.
Slaughtering the masses.
And I'm really excited to hear Claudia's. So I'd like to go to that.
I'm so excited to talk about my idea.
All right, Claudia, pitch us the next Star Wars game, would you?
This is what I'm most excited about because I'm an ideas person. And do you know what my idea is? Sims. Star Wars Sims. So get this. We're going to have a completely customizable characters that you can change their body, their features, colors of their skin or whatever. I even have alien parts, their different clothes, accessories of literally all the episodes 1 through 7, including Rogue One. Whatever if you picture yourself in Star Wars, like what would you look like? What are your favorite parts of each character, and combine them together, something completely unique and creative. And not just that, you can create your own home in whatever environment or planet that you just love or just wish that you could be a part of. It could be Naboo, it could be the Death Star, it could be Alderaan. All different popular places, and you can build your home and customize that as if you actually live there. And then you can also make your character into like a Jedi or a Sith or an X-Wing fighter or a pod racer, Stormtrooper, bounty hunter, whatever. Different careers, different adventures and objectives that you can explore your world and environment and interact with other players who also could be a part of your squad, who you can fight against, who you can collaborate and communicate with, and different. You can fly in a spaceship. You can actually be set in the middle of a fight with the Rebel Alliance, or you could learn to be a Jedi and train to use the Force and fight with lightsabers. It's all completely customizable. You can customize your lightsaber too, and all those fun things. And it would be available both for PC and consoles like PlayStation, Xbox, and it would literally be the best thing ever.
All right.
Oh yeah, mine too.
And forewarning, thank you. These pitches all sound great. I would play all these games. But now, fight.
All right. So Claudia, I think yours sounds a lot like. Oh, don't get me wrong here.
Yeah.
I love The Sims. The Sims is my jam.
Yeah.
But your Sims pitch sounded a lot like a game that's already established.
Right.
It is the Old Republic MMO.
Yep.
That's what I thought about, but I was expanding upon that to make it more Sims-like.
Nice. I would play that. I would play the hell.
Because I was inspired by that, but I just wanted to make it more like you are this person, and
You want a reskin of World of Warcraft, but with Star Wars.
basically yes. But like even more where you can actually add to it. I'm just saying, World of Warcraft is super popular for decades. You cannot say that it's not, and completely addictive. Add Star Wars to that, already a huge, enterprise and corporation. Just
I love
Same.
building a house, but I don't really feel like being on an episode of Star Wars House Hunters.
it's not completely about the house. I'm just.
If I wanted to do that, I'd watch
Sick burn, Derek.
House Hunters is a fantastic show. If you've never seen that, I recommend it. Okay, I'm just saying that is a fantastic show.
I would also like to go.
That would be a great idea
Shout out
too.
to Jackie real quick. Yeah, they already tried 1313. There's a reason it didn't work.
Yeah, but Jax was not the showrunner here.
She wasn't the pitch master.
Yeah. Also, Derek,
Yeah, buddy.
Disney has already tried to do a Marvel fighting game, and
Star Wars.
right after that, they canceled it.
Yeah, the same with 1313.
They didn't even
But
try.
they didn't have Derek running it.
Well, I'm thinking about, okay, I like the idea and I could see potential with it, but I could see like a total rage between huge fans of Star Wars and huge fans of Marvel and be like, Yoda would not win against Captain America because of this reason, and I hate you and I'm going to destroy our friendship, table flip. I feel like it would break people more than bring them together because of the huge
I actually have a
nerds
follow-up
around
question for Jackie. Who the hell would make your game now?
Me?
Now that Disney, I'm actually asking what, and I won't ask for a specific developer because I have a hard time with that too. But what type of game that has already been made would you like that style to be after? Who would you trust to make this? Because when you have Disney owning Star Wars, you're limited. I mean, Disney does a lot of work with their leasing out of Lego movies and stuff, and a lot of those other video games to a bunch of different developers. But you're not gonna get
Lucasfilm.
Niantic or Lucasfilm arts back on or anything like that. You're not gonna be able to get these ones who developed the original look, which is terrifying because look what they did already. Lucasfilms had only sold off part of their development. They don't have the ability to make another game. Now Disney already has both the developing rights for Marvel and them in the TV series. So they have to only take that next step in order to get the Star Wars one, which can be made in a much broader case than repainting the entire realm of 1313.
Well,
I was just going to say what I want to know specifically from you. I don't know if this is what you were going to say. I just want to know, Jackie, why would people play your game more? Why would people want to play your game over the other two?
there are so many fighting games out there. There's so many. And you know what, there's the only one that I can think of that really sets the bar, aside from all the other fighting games, is probably Super Smash Brothers. But so I mean, I played the Disney Infinity Marvel fighting part, and I thought that was really fun. I know that Disney can do it. However, I don't think that they can keep a game running at all. So
They managed not to go out of business after John Carter. So
Okay.
I got some faith.
Oh, jeez.
So here's the thing. I will before I say what my thoughts. I just want to say, Derek, it hurts my soul a little bit when you refer to LucasArts as Lucasfilm Arts.
I messed that up. I had a stroke.
Richie needs to stop being personal about
Richie,
this debate because he's not even a part of this.
Stop making fun of my
He's there to be
disability.
pretty.
And also,
get an opinion.
I think you kind of said it, but you know, also that when Disney bought Star Wars, they dissolved LucasArts completely and gave the Star Wars video game license to EA, and that's what EA is in charge of, like Battlefront and all that stuff. Okay, Garrett, let's go to you. What was your opinion on this round?
I think this is a great round. This is the strongest arguments we've heard from the girls in particular. So that's really, really good. Although, I don't know, Jax did kill it last round. Definitely Claudia's best round, for sure. So I have some thoughts on every single one of them. First off, Jackie. I'm a little bit torn back and forth because between two different ideas. You picking a game that was already in development and already had existing hype, I can't decide if that's genius or a cop-out.
totally genius.
I have no idea. I really don't know if it's genius or if it's a different cop-out.
I wrote not your own idea.
But, not your own idea. But that being said...
Gave up.
Lies.
Gave up. That being said, it was a little vague. It was vague in production, and you're right, there was a vague story trailer. But for the most part, yeah, the internet feels like they missed out. They feel like, oh shoot, there was something that was going to be gained there, and they lost out. So there is at least a large portion of people that have, a reasonable following in that regard, regardless of whether or not it follows Boba Fett or something else. Again, I'm going to go ahead and say I like the argument only because 1313 was canceled before it really got into specifics regarding what kind of game it was. It was vague enough. So I liked your argument. Claudia, your argument was stellar. And what's interesting is I looked online as far as like a SAR, it's kind of trying to find something that sounded similar to what you said and whatnot. And there's not a lot.
I did my own research.
There's not a lot.
Sure.
I need some clarity. I would need some clarity as far as because the first half sounded like you were pitching a life sim game, and the second half sounded like you were pitching an RPG.
It's because of the newer Sims games gives you the opportunity to explore worlds and have a career and watch them do their careers, which is how I thought of that idea.
Okay, now I will say this: there has been a Star Wars game like that.
Yeah.
It's called Star Wars Galaxies.
Yeah.
Star Wars Galaxies. Yeah, Star Wars Galaxies was a subscription-based MMO from the golden days of MMOdom back in the day, and it was very popular.
Yeah.
And really until the developers came in and streamlined a whole bunch of stuff and made it super easy and invalidated the accomplishments of a lot of other people.
Anyways, gotta move along.
I know. So I liked that argument. It has been done. There's certainly grounds to back it up. Derek, I think a lot of people would like your idea. I'm so
many people.
weary.
So many people. All the people. I have the best idea.
Oh, stop. No, don't even. Shut up. Get out, Trump.
I am so weary of exactly Claudia's point pertaining to what the fandom would amount to during that campaign. People would not shut up about
They
it.
would burn down buildings
for decades, and that literally upsets me.
Murder people.
That being said, to your biggest credit, Star Wars at this particular point is devoid of a really good fighting title.
There's never been one.
There's been a handful of respectable attempts, but nothing recent, nothing modern. If it could be done right, I'll give you credit that it could be done. And at that, I'm a little bit divided, but I'm going to pass it over to you because you look pretty decided.
I think that everything you're saying, I'm pretty much agreeing with. I thought everybody this by far was the best round for me, at least. I think that everybody really brought their A game. I think you guys, because everything is all subjective and opinion, but that's why the pitch rounds are always, because you guys are creating something, and I think that of course. Man, I wish, that Marvel vs. Star Wars game, like, I really wish that would happen. And, I bet coming soon, probably.
If they're not already working on it.
I can see Star Wars Street Fighter.
13, probably even above, and by that canceled Darth Maul RPG was like 95% ready to go before they canceled that one. And I really wanted to play that, but 1313 was definitely the game that I and thousands, millions of other Star Wars fans we're really looking forward to, and I just can't believe EA didn't pick up on that. So that also is another game. And of course,
there are hella developers that would pick that up. I'm thinking about the developers behind Metro 2033, I think it is.
Yeah. 2033. 2033.
2033. Yeah. If they did that,
it's all about EA, and if they allow other developers in, small tangent. You need to get more than DICE, EA.
No,
I mean, seriously. There's no excuse. You should be making 5 Star Wars games a year. Get off your asses.
What they should make is a 1313 sim.
13.
I would play that. 1313.
All right. And then Claudia's pitch with The Sims. I think that here's where I'm torn. For me, you guys all did really good. Claudia, you would have been the clear winner if you stuck to just it being a Sims game with Star Wars stuff. When you started to get a little off of it when you started to say it's got these other things, and then Derek had a really good argument where he said that it just felt like World of Warcraft with a Star Wars skin on it, which actually kind of makes it like Old Republic, But, and then Jackie also brought up Old Republic. Garrett's not fighting, and he brought up, Galaxy, so I won't hold that against you since it's not part of the fight. But yeah.
That's also really obscure.
Yeah.
That's a hard one to bring up.
But again, facts and other things. It's just Claudia, I felt like you just had the most passion in your argument. So
I love The
Claudia
Sims.
gets the third point.
I love The Sims so much.
That's right. We are in a 3-way tie right now. Everybody has 1 point.
Menage a trois.
So we are nowhere close to anyone clinching the speed round right now.
We're not clenching over here.
All right. Round 4. All right.
Speak for everyone.
So this time, starting again with Jackie. Jackie, what is the worst video game remake?
Let me tell you. The worst video game remake is absolutely Conquer Live and Reloaded. I don't even have to look at my notes. Okay? Let me tell you, the travesty that they did to the Great Mighty Pooh is absolutely ridiculous. You can't just take away his wonderful song and change his voice and make it into a talking song and cut out all of his bad words. He is a piece of poop. You can't cut out the S word. You can't cut out the S word. I'm sorry, Richie, it's really hard to censor myself with this one. You can't cut out the S word. In his song, he is literally the S word. There's no reason for that game to have been censored at all. I mean, the reason why you play it is because you want that funny dirtiness out of a cute little squirrel. It's ridiculous that literally when you'd be playing that game, you would just hear bleeps for hours. It would literally be like the entire dialogue is just bleeps. That's it. And it just shouldn't have been done. Especially how rare. I don't know how much time I have or anything, but I'm just going to keep going. I love how rare just cut out. And they just ditched the effort, and Xbox picked it up. And Xbox is the one to blame for this travesty here. And I am absolutely appalled by it.
All right. That was something.
I'm terrified.
All right. Claudia, what is the worst video game remake?
Great, I have to follow that. Oh my god. Okay, well, I've only played the original Legend of Zelda game on N64, which I thought was really great.
So Ocarina of Time.
Yes.
Okay.
And I have to say though that Legend of Zelda Wind Waker was probably the biggest hindrance of that franchise or saga or whatever you would call it, because. Series, sure. Because I just felt like it was the weirdest and most awkward graphics and character design I have ever seen. Now, I'm an artist, so I know what I'm talking about. And I just felt like when I looked at the pictures, it just looked like terrible cubism, but it was just like it's like they tried to be trendy. That was not even the original intended style of that. I actually read that they said that they made that style through cell shading, and quote, the art style provided divisive I don't know, among players. It resulted in comparatively weak sales outside of Japan. So it basically was a failure as far as sales, although it received critical acclaim, and now it's considered as one of the best games ever made. That sounded like just bullcrap, and critics don't know shit. It's all about the players and what they have to say. And yeah, you could say that it did open up great sequels to it, like Four Swords, Minish Cap, Phantom Hourglass. Those are great because they're kind of like, they have Cartoon Network kind of style, very contemporary and something new and fresh. But I just felt like with Wind Waker, they just were not quite the cut. Yeah.
Hey Dre, what? Derek's got something to say.
It's not your time to argue.
We're not arguing yet. So Derek, calm down. Save it for arguments. Oh God. All right, Derek. What is the worst video game remake?
SimCity 2013. That was so bad. They did such good things in the SimCity series. They had made a game. The first, by far, sim builder that became popular on the landscape. Now you've got City Skylines, who's by far stolen the title. And SimCity 2013 is what made them lose it. They no longer have that prowess in the industry. You just can't even fathom the lengths they went to mess up SimCity 2013. It's actually laughable. If you look it up online, it's 22 of the worst glitches in SimCity 2013. It's bad. They didn't take any care into what all the other prior Sims had done, which is like to some type of architectural fact. People like architecture. People like building. People like looking at something and having it feel balanced. Holy cow. You try to build a bridge in that game, it makes you want to cry. I'm scared for the Sims that have to drive over it. They just took it and decided to try to make something mainstream. They tried to fix it. They tried with their most recent release. They're done. SimCity 2013 killed a franchise, which is by far making it one of the worst games.
Okay. And I guess you think it's a remake because it's, I mean, they're all the SimCities are remakes of each other. Okay. All right then. Fight!
Yes. How dare you?
Okay, come at me.
I just kept writing, how dare you? How dare you?
That's not an argument.
How dare you?
That's not an argument.
This was Zelda's and the maker of the Legends of Zelda. This was their opportunity to evolve it.
Right.
This is where they took it into the new realm of what the Wii can provide and now what the Switch can provide. This was them taking the original Zelda, which we all knew and loved, and a couple of ones after that, and the weird stuff they did on the side, and putting it into the 21st century. Their art style has... This was their first step. This was baby steps.
Yeah.
Nobody had done
Literally,
this.
baby. That's as much as I care about it, is that it's the fact it's a baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you don't make a cake without turning on the oven
Right,
first.
but that's still a bad one. I said the sequels were great, and I love the art style of that because it was more evolved, more refined. It was more of a Cartoon Network style, which I do think was a good idea as an alternative to the classic style. But this particular game, outside of everything else, was not good. It looked bad. For a game that was made in 2003, they should have done better graphics and better technology.
Look at what was made around that same time. The different Mario titles. This was the realm into getting really clear and crisp actual 3D. We had 3D modeling for a long time, but
Right.
you don't really get the transition into stuff that looks appealing and is fun to look at until you get into the 2000s, and that technology finally starts to keep up with what you have as as a platform, as far as the console goes or as PC goes, if you port it. And I'm going to use this time as me talking in order to attack Jackie.
Sideswipe.
I'm sorry. So you had a problem with bleeps and bloops. I'm pretty sure R2D2 takes offense.
Don't even. Those are
not real arguments.
Don't even bring R2D2 into this
The only
conversation.
reason Conquer Live and Reloaded was made was because of the community's outrage about it. Because what was happening is you were having this M-rated game with the cute fuzzy characters cursing like a sailor, and your 6-year-old cousin was playing it. Mom walks in.
I remember them as a kid.
Screaming bloody murder.
I was a kid.
That
I
is
remember
absolutely not the child's fault. That is actually the parents' fault. There are labels on the box of the N64 game saying that it is mature, it is not for kids, and that parent is at fault there. They shouldn't have given their 6-year-old child the game. But anyway, this is talking about 4 adults here. 4 adults. Everybody knows this cute and fuzzy character is 4 adults. And this cute and fuzzy character does not need to be cut out because it takes all the charm out of the game. It does not need to be censored at all.
She likes the uncensored.
I understand that if you know what, I'll concede to you that the remake was bad. But that's because the whole series was awful. I did not enjoy the It was a cutesy attempt in order to be live and original that didn't really add anything to the gaming community.
You know what? That's fine. You can have your back opinion, and I can have my opinion. It's okay. That's fine. But let's just say here, what they could have done is they could have added like a code to uncensor everything. They could have done that in the game, but instead they didn't. The only thing is there's the potty mouth code that you can enter in or something like that.
And then it censors everything in the game?
No, it doesn't. Which it should have. What it does is it just brings the Great Mighty Pooh back to the way he was. That's it. I mean, Great Mighty Pooh is great, and he should have that, because if they did not do that in that game, they did not give the Great Mighty Pooh what he deserved. It just at least a code or something, or a little check mark in the settings.
Okay, there's one thing that I really need to hear before we go to the judging of this, and that's Claudia. I'm a little bit confused in your answer. I feel like you're only arguing why Wind Waker itself is a bad game. When you said that your answer was Wind Waker, I assume you were talking about the 2013 Wind Waker re-release on the Wii U.
No, I'm talking the original.
Because that's not a remake, and we're arguing worst remake.
Well, I thought remakes as in, like, of the original, like, Legend of Zelda.
Okay. Well, okay.
That is a fault on
that's its own argument, because a lot of people are like, well, every Zelda game is the same. I will accept it because it's fine. I guess people can't.
I guess it would be considered a sequel, but
it is.
I literally had no other answer, Richie. You have terrible questions, and I'm not a good contestant. I should not be here right now.
It's fine. I just wanted to clarify. You are talking about Wind Waker 2003 on the GameCube.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
I did
remake it.
Yeah, I did see that they did remake it, but they pretty much kept it the same style, and I still don't like it. So
okay, but
that still contends to my argument.
My clarification was your argument is that every Zelda game is essentially a remake of the previous one because they're all the same thing anyway.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, he's basically looking for Zelda. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I guess I've heard enough. All right. But just because I know that I don't want to get flamed in the comments, guys. Zelda's one of my favorite series. I love Ocarina of Time. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Wind Waker's not bad, but Claudia's not wrong with the cartooniness. It did dissuade me a little bit.
The cartooniness.
But and again, it's not the worst. I actually prefer Wind Waker over Twilight Princess. So I'm just gonna say I know I'll get burned for that too. But anyways, let's go to Gary on the Fact Cam.
Okay. What's good? Over here on the Fact Cam.
All I want to hear is who do you think won this one?
Oh man, that's a tough one. But because as far as my own personal experience reconciles very closely with Derek. That SimCity game was rough. And as far as like
I never played it, only played 2000.
Right. But based on the passion and the arguments, who do you think, if you didn't know anything about any of these games, who do you think convinced you that their remake was the worst?
Jackie wins passion. Period.
God.
Jackie wins on passion. impassioned period. I think Derek presented a slightly larger factual argument, but you could also argue that his franchise was a little bigger and also kind of a bigger they are, the harder they fall sort of thing, sort of situation. So that could work for or against him in terms of that. But if you're just if you want to talk about who got the most upset, it's clearly Jackie.
I'm still thinking about the Great Mighty.
No, I'm already ready to make my ruling here, all right? So that's the thing. Jackie, right from the gate, you thought you weren't going to do well in this game. She comes down and says exactly what's wrong. She
I
tells
have passion for this.
She told her how it is. So many people, as she said, this is what she said. So many people were upset. They took a fantastic game. They butchered the dialogue. It was the same dialogue, just overly censored. And they took great characters and ruined them. They couldn't have just taken the same dialogue from the first game. They had to redo it all, and it was terrible.
It was terrible.
And yeah, you guys both had some great points too. But Jackie, you believed it from her more this time. So Jackie gets the point. She wins round 4, which means that Jackie is in the lead with 2 points.
Derek gets the point for defending Zelda, though.
Wait.
How dare you? That does not make a good argument, though. That's just whining.
This is round 4, and we only have one question left. Does that mean I automatically am in the speed round?
You have clinched a speed round. It's true. It is true. Well, you didn't want to do speed round?
No.
It's too late now.
You think I'm unprepared
You're in it. You're in it.
Until the speed round.
No.
Okay.
No.
Guys, this is it. All right, round 5.
Let's do it.
This is a very important question, and it starts with Claudia. Claudia, what is the best video game console ever?
As the perfect contestant for this question. But actually, I have to say, as someone who is completely unbiased because I am not a big video game nerd, I actually feel like I could present the best argument because of the fact that, it's not something that I'm nostalgic about, not something that I use the most. I am literally looking at this from a perspective of all of them put up against each other and what seems to be the best platform for so many amazing, renowned, and favorite games like Uncharted, Call of Duty, Overwatch, Battlefield, Grand Theft Auto 5, Fallout 4, etc. And that's PlayStation 4. And already PlayStation 3 was a great console, but from what I've read online is that it made a lot of loud noises when, it's like an old computer, it's just like, and I've read that a lot of people liked how quiet PlayStation 4 was. And even if it was playing a game that had like really intensive graphics and things like that, just like all of those that I listed before, which have amazing graphics and gameplay, and it connects to the internet and everything, it handles all of that. And it seems that, it still has that classic feel of a PlayStation 2 console, which I did own, but they've improved upon it, and it just has it looks really nice and sleek, and the controllers feel really comfortable, and they are still familiar, but they added onto it. And comparative to like Xbox, I've only played on that once, and it was on Halo, and I just had a terrible experience because the controllers they felt like this cheap plastic. They are uncomfortable to me, and they were confusing, and I just didn't really like Halo in the first place. I was literally going like this and this at the same time, and the guy who was helping me, I wanted to murder me, and I was okay with that. But it felt like it's something that's just evolved throughout the years and continues to wow us with great graphics, just a really strong console that will probably continue to play for a long time.
Okay. All right. Derek, what?
7 seconds left.
Oh, wow. Okay. Derek, what is the best video game console ever?
So, I'm taking a bit of a shot at this one. It's PC Master Race. Just gonna throw that out there. Love personal computers. But if we're gonna have to go with something that, like, as far as a personal history for myself, it was the Nintendo GameCube. The Nintendo GameCube was really fun as far as what Nintendo provided at that level. I mean, they made some mistakes, and I'll give them that, because everybody's going to be like, "Wah!" in the comments about this. Disc size was too small. Why did they do that when everybody was already progressing to full-size DVDs? Nintendo messed up, and we get it. However, if you take that into account, Nintendo was going for efficiency of product and cartridge size. Nintendo has always been a fan of doing the thing that is the smallest and the most sturdy, and by far, if you have a disc that's made of a breakable plastic, make it smaller. It naturally increases its strength. Not only that, some of the games that were provided on the GameCube were just incredible. You had Super Smash Bros. Melee, which was the first sequel to that series. Everybody was a fan of that. Then you ran into my good friend Resident Evil 4, which is a personal favorite from a different series. I played so many hours on that with my buddy. We ended up setting a 11th world record. He did. We were ranked for quite some time. It was a riot. The Nintendo GameCube also in Japan, which unfortunately the United States didn't get to see, primarily due to both costs and then import rules. At the time with Japan, the Japanese version could play DVDs, which is very interesting, figuring what that would have done in the American market at the time. You had, just prior to that, the PS3, right, and then the Xbox 360, and you had this kind of clunky Nintendo machine come out that really had a lot to offer. And they did kind of miss the mark with the DVDs, I'll give it that. But what it came up with and what it allowed Nintendo to do was make those mistakes in order to have them move into the next realm and understand what they're truly competing with. I think overall the Nintendo GameCube provided the most bang for its buck. It definitely came out on the market being of a more affordable price range. It also offered the benefit of one of the first ever, and this I would argue is what was the original basis for the Switch, they just missed the mark, was the portableness of it. It had a handle on it. They really wanted this to be the item that you could take to your friends.
And that's time. Is that the first time anyone's gone over 2 minutes?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I love Nintendo.
You should have.
All right. Jackie, what is the best video game console ever?
My choice is the Super Nintendo. It was released in Japan in 1990 and North America in 1991. It's, for those of you who don't know what a Super Nintendo is, it's a 16-bit home video game console developed by Nintendo.
I was born that year, so.
And
from birth.
And it has fun games like Contra, Earthbound, Kirby's Dream Land, F-Zero, Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3?
Oh, Final Fantasy? No, 4, 5, 6.
4, 5, 6.
I probably should be helping.
Final Fantasy. Yoshi
No husband
Island,
help.
Star Fox, Super Mario RPG, Chrono Trigger, Super Metroid, Donkey Kong Country, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario World, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. I mean, there's so many great games on the Super Nintendo that paved the way to great Nintendo games now. And I'm just gonna save it all for the fight.
Oh.
She's saving.
Oh, okay. Hey, that's my bell. All right.
Hey.
I love all your pitches, but now you gotta fight.
All right. So, Derek, I get it about the Nintendo game. I can't say anything bad about the Nintendo GameCube.
Yeah, nobody can. It's beautiful.
That it was just
purple machinery.
It was released in a really bad time when people were going from these clunky giant TVs to these more sleek, streamlined HD TVs in that time frame, and it came out with the red, yellow, white cord that goes in, and it was really hard to find. Thank you, composite.
Thank you,
fact checker.
And you had to pay a lot of money for these very few produced little HDMI support things for the Nintendo GameCube.
I'm glad you brought up money. That's everything I'm good at.
Oh my god.
The Super Nintendo at the time it came out, if you look at the cost of inflation at the time, that was like over $1,000 machine.
Talking about inflation.
That was not conducive to providing the home experience that a console's meant to provide. The only reason people didn't build PCs that were able to run those type of games, well, because there was nothing for it yet, is because you couldn't afford it. People were just starting to get PCs in the workplace, and Nintendo comes out going, hey, look what I got. And they're like, guess what? It costs a car! And you're like, oh no! I want to either play this game or do I want to drive to work? Like,
Play the game.
This was the problem with Super Nintendo.
Don't go to work.
I was 11. I wanted to play the game.
I will give you that it came out with a lot of good ideas that paved the way. But I think as far as an individual console goes, There just wasn't
talking
anything
about mine.
Yeah.
There just wasn't. There just wasn't anything.
I was born. I didn't want to do either.
The GameCube had that affordability that I'd mentioned before. That's moving into that next realm. Claudia, PS4, because if I don't stop talking, then they can't talk over me. Was not much.
That's what he likes to think.
Was not much of an upgrade from the PS3. That's the reason everybody kind of overshadowed it. That's where the Xbox kind of came in with the Xbox One, saying, hey, look at this new awesome thing we have. This can do everything. It's a multimedia device. You can plug in your cable in it. You can run most of your items through it. Now, most people miss the mark as far as using that, but I don't have any friends that have a PS4. And that's a lot to do with because their PS3 still works. PS4 didn't come out with anything that really didn't come out on the Xbox or PC. This is an item that really only had Destiny as its other Final Fantasy 15. I'll give it that. It had that too as kind of a title that was exclusive to it if you wanted to pay or if you wanted to play on a console at home. The thing that these two items are missing are just the ability for them to be used as a console. I get it. They're both really good, but neither of them have the ability to do what a console's supposed to do. And that's to be that item at home that you have in your living room that you can share with your family, and your friends.
Well,
Sorry, you go ahead.
I just wanted to say something really quick. My originally my answer was PS3 actually, and actually said PS3/4, but Richie made me choose. And
of course, you gotta choose one.
I had to choose one. And actually, one thing I forgot to make a point is one of the reasons why I wanted to pick PS3 is the fact that it introduced the Eye, which was the interactive camera, and as that I thought was a great step up from a Wii because you didn't need a controller in order to play a game with basically your body, and so that was my argument for that. But then when I read that it was loud and people like PS4 because of the fact that it was quiet, it was really hard for me to decide between those. And since PS4 also still has the Eye, which I forgot to mention earlier, I still felt like that was still a better argument than me just saying just 3. So I agree that most people don't have 4 because 3 is better, but I basically kind of made them like the same thing in this. So that was just my perspective. So
I have a PS3 and a PS4. I don't hear a difference between the both of them.
That's just what I've read from my research as an unbiased person.
People used to complain all the time about the sound.
Maybe you're just deaf. Maybe you're just deaf.
What?
Yeah.
It's just the internet just wants to make shit up.
Yeah.
Anyway, the PS4, I think it's great, but I really don't like the fact that you have to pay to play online. I just feel like this is a time that playing online with your friends is how you should do it. And
didn't Nintendo just release that they're now going to make you play online?
Yep.
That's just
but we're not talking about the Switch.
No, we're not talking about.
That's just
I didn't choose the Switch.
That's just where we're.
It hasn't even happened yet.
So I really don't like that. And the Super Nintendo and also the GameCube, they came out in a time where you would bring friends over and you'd play and you'd do the multiplayer in at home together with everybody.
Rude. He's only upset because he can't be a part of it.
We're gonna switch him out.
All right.
That's just gonna take 12 hours.
Okay. So this is real close. So Garrett, I'm going to go to you real quick. Was there any facts that needed to be checked? Did you find anything that?
I have a few holes in the argument overall. But like for instance, everybody talked about the PS4. Nobody brought up PSVR.
I know.
Because that's not what's happening.
I know, but I'm just saying that would have been great. Also, the in-home streaming feature. So the idea that all those come intrinsic. But it's a thing. It's a good thing. As far as most concrete argument is concerned, I'm pretty clear on it being Derek.
Check for the $20 in the backpack.
That being said, it's also objectively true. He I mean, every single point that he nailed it with the you did misspeak and messed up the chronological order of GameCube versus 360 and PS3.
No, I thought it was up.
Really?
2002.
Ooh, under money. Sugar. Well.
All right. Well, you got me there.
So the PS3, I'm sorry, I misspoke. I meant to say the PS2. The PS2. Yeah.
That's okay. That's what I meant. I'm like that's what it is.
PS2 the original Xbox.
Yeah, you were talking about those. Okay, so we are talking about the same thing. I thought I heard you saying 3. Okay, but I'm gonna go ahead and write that off as you just misspoke, as opposed to you named something wrong, because you seem clear on that. I think we all seem clear on that. Otherwise, then yeah, all your points were totally valid. It is a little bit overshadowed by the fact that the GameCube was kind of a contentious. It's objectively true. It was a little bit contentious. It was mixed on popularity. The sales were meh, but all the points you made were fair, concrete, and all the arguments, all the defenses you made were thorough. So I think that one comes through. PlayStation 4, great console. There's a lot we could do. You could dive into that even further. And the Super Nintendo, I mean, phenomenally and paved the way. But I mean, Derek hit it right on the head with my biggest problem with it, which was just accessibility.
So did you say you thought had the best?
Oh, Derek had the best argument behind.
Yeah. Pay attention. Just focus.
It's really weird. I completely disagree. I thought that Claudia and Jackie both overshadowed Derek's arguments in this case. I just felt like I heard more from Jackie on why the Super Nintendo outshone as a console at the time. Although Derek did fight back with that bit about it being
it's $1,000 inflation adjusted dollars.
And also despite not mentioning VR and everything, Claudia did argue her points well with what she came up with for the PS4, and that it was an improvement over the PS3 technically, and it has shown to be a fantastic home console today. So to me, it was really between Claudia and Jack. Sorry, Derek.
It's all right, buddy.
So
he likes women more.
It's
a fact.
Yeah, really just
married one.
It's really just.
Let's fact check that for here.
It's really just based on the arguments, Claudia. Okay. Derek, you had some fantastic things to say. I personally just felt like I feel like you could have done more.
He was a good salesman, I would say. He pitched it very well. He pitched it very well.
Okay.
Yeah, a GameCube. He pitched it well.
He pitched a GameCube well.
Like seriously.
I know.
That was all the things about it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
I
damn.
lost my job.
Yeah, well.
I'm going to go with Claudia.
Yay.
Claudia wins round 5.
Yay.
So what that means is that Claudia and Jax will face off in the speed round.
We're gonna be so good at this.
And then, Derek, I may ask for your help should I need it in deciding the winners.
Hold my hair. Hold my weave.
Take my please.
So it is tied.
No, don't let me be with
2-2. I'm just making notes here.
It's funny because me and Jackie actually agree on a lot of things. This is gonna be really
So
fun.
now you gotta fight.
It worked to answer first.
So with Derek in the mix, it made it easier for you to counter, but now
Explain
it's...
that mechanic to you.
Not yet.
All right, so...
We don't know anything.
So here, okay, we're about
I don't
to start
even want to
figuring out
be here.
I'm going to ask a series of questions after each question, and I'll tell you if these are multiple choice or not. But whoever blurts out their answer first, you have to go first, and you get 20 seconds to argue your point. Then the other person gets 20 seconds. After that, you'll have a 10-second rebuttal, and then the other person gets a 10-second rebuttal. If it is multiple choice, you must wait for me to be completely finished with the question before you blurt out your answer. If, for example, if it was, do you like red or blue? If Claudia goes red, then Jackie must defend blue. Okay. So here we go.
Or just not red in this situation.
I'm guessing this is about Pokemon and not colors.
Right. So, Garrett, have the time ready. 20 seconds on the clock.
All right.
Your time begins when you start talking. And so here is speed round question number 1. Okay.
Get over it.
2 games, and this is multiple choice. 2 games are in the bargain bin. Which do you buy? Crash Team Racing or Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing?
Crash Team Racing.
Okay, good, because I don't know what that is.
Okay, I heard Jackie first, so 20 seconds on the dial. Jackie, why Crash Team Racing?
Crash Team Racing is kooky and fun, and plenty of racing games. This one had to make its mark by having Crash Bandicoot
on a team.
Okay.
This is gonna be great.
All right, Claudia, 20 seconds. Why Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing?
Because it's Sonic and Sega, and those are all our favorite characters, and we're racing.
10 out of 10.
Okay.
This is a great show. Watch it.
Okay, 10-second rebuttal from Jackie. Jackie, why over Sonic?
I would rather play Mario Kart. I mean, like, all of my favorite
Is that what that game was?
players. All of my favorite players are basically all the Nintendo characters.
It's not.
So you didn't defend or offend your answer.
That was neither.
Sonic and all the favorite characters.
10 out of 10.
So she was defending.
Oh, I see. So you were just saying that you would rather play Mario Kart than Sonic and not over your game.
Oh, I thought you.
I know. I was like, whoa, did you just blow out your answer completely? It's like, screw Crash, I'll play Mario Kart. It's like, that's
These are terrible options. I want to redo the options.
All right, 10-second rebuttal.
Why these two?
Claudia.
I don't know what Crash is. And therefore, I don't think most of the people will know.
Okay. So I think this one's pretty simple. Jackie actually knew what the game was. So the point goes to Jackie.
Default point, Jackie.
Default point, Jackie.
It's not arguments. They
Sadly, sometimes that's how the speed round works. That's why it's a speed round.
It's going better
All
than I
right.
expected.
Everything's going as you have foreseen. All right. Speed round question 2. This is also multiple choice, so whoever speaks up first gets their preference. Which do you prefer, a mouse and keyboard or a controller?
Nice.
Mouse and keyboard.
Good, because I was going to pick controller.
Okay, I heard mouse and keyboard from Jackie first. 20 seconds for Jackie. Why a mouse and keyboard?
Mouse and keyboard gives you better accuracy, and it's mouse and keyboard, better accuracy.
You made this happen, Richie. This is on you.
I'm just asking questions.
I just wrote the word L33T.
Well, exactly. L33T.
Okay, then Claudio, why a controller over a mouse and keyboard? 20 seconds.
Okay, have you ever tried to be super accurate with a mouse? I mean, a controller has a joystick, which is just completely smooth and effortless and a lot easier to handle than you awkwardly having to do this motion and everything. It's just better to do this.
10-second rebuttal, Jackie.
All right, with the mouse and keyboard, you don't get the latency like you do with the controller. There's just this aiming that you have to do with one stick, and then like.
Oh Jesus!
10 seconds. Okay, Claudia, get 10 seconds as soon as she starts talking. I believe you.
Well, what I think is that a button is a lot faster of a trigger than a mouse, and it would be a lot easier just to use it that way.
Okay. This time I am going to go to my friend.
That's right. I meant my thought.
Derek, what did you think?
So, I actually think Claudia had a point with the argument that on average, which she mentioned at the end there, was that the controller is easier to use. That's factually true.
More intuitive.
I would argue that that is factually true. If you put a controller in front of a baby, they're going to figure out the controller before they are a mouse and a keyboard. A huge reason to that being is a lot of games coming out now that are on the PC, I have to pull out a controller in order to play.
Right.
You physically can't do it without the option of the joystick.
And based on the arguments...
I think Claudia had it when she clinched it with that the controller's easier.
Garrett.
Thank you.
Based on the arguments, who do you think had it strong?
I mean, mouse and keyboard is better.
That's not the
So there's
That's
that.
not what I'm asking.
What is all this like biased opinion shit? We're not part of this argument.
No. I had a
It's
lot.
not usually the fact checkers.
No. I'm kidding. I'm contributing to the drama. Do you understand?
I understand.
Okay.
You're Claudia.
No.
I know, right? That being said, Claudia did have a little bit more to say. I would have liked to hear a little bit more on kind of the the intuitive nature or the handheld nature or the
We got 10 seconds.
a lot of that. I know, yeah. Just the idea.
Scared the bejesus out of
The idea that it's all in your hands.
I was really glad that you didn't go for the laying in bed and playing casually.
Right, the comfort, the accessibility, there's a lot there, certainly. But I feel like you touched on that. Jackie, you had a slew of options to bring up as far as customability and its accessibility towards a whole range of games that controllers can't access, like Sims and all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and defer to Claudia.
Okay. Yeah, Claudia wins this point. So you calm down a little bit, Claudia.
Gosh.
But I will say this: as soon as she was like, everyone would rather use a controller. The three of us were like, I'm sorry. What?
I know.
I have scolded people for using a controller. It's like, real quick, I must.
I didn't actually say everyone.
Because the whole thing is like when you're using a controller, and we're mostly talking about shooters here. When you're using a controller, it clicks back into place, so you lose your spot. With a mouse, it goes where you want it to, and you can adjust its speed and accuracy depending on your settings.
But if you deal with this motion, is a lot more complicated than this motion.
Yeah, you made great arguments, Claudia.
Range of motion.
You made great arguments, Claudia, and that's why you won the round. However, in reality, a mouse and a keyboard is better.
Again, not a part of this. He doesn't even go here. Get out. You're not a part of this. Get out, Richie. I'm taking over the show.
What's our score, Rev?
Question number 3.
Wait, what's our score?
3-3.
It's 3-3. It's tied up at 3-3.
Oh man, the drama.
Yeah, 1st to 5, by the way. All right, so question number 3. This is not multiple choice, so you can blurt out whatever comes to mind first. Best game. Listen, best game with a female protagonist.
Portal.
Damn it. Well, am I supposed to answer first?
Actually, I'm still waiting for
okay.
you.
I thought like if she was gonna go on. Lara Croft.
So Tomb Raider.
Okay. Sorry, I meant like the character.
So Jackie spoke first. So 20 seconds. Why Portal?
All right, Portal is great. Valve makes some great games, and Portal has the character Shell, who is stuck in a laboratory with this evil GLaDOS, and it's amazing.
Okay.
Cool.
Claudia, 20 seconds.
If anyone ever thinks about female gaming character, that's Lara Croft. She is been for so many generations, and she's only gotten better, sexier, cooler, more adventurous, and everyone loves her.
Okay. 10-second rebuttal, Jackie.
Shell doesn't even need to say anything to be great. She's got this banter, not even banter, like she plays off with GLaDOS very well, and it's very kooky and fun to listen to.
10-second rebuttal, Claudia.
I didn't even know there's a female in Portal, to be honest. So therefore, I feel like the best one would be someone who's most well known.
Quickly, Derek, what did you think? Who had the best arguments?
Claudia.
Yes.
Okay. Garrett?
Boobs. Always win.
Claudia.
Okay.
Boobs.
That being said, I did defend Portal in a previous game, and I do feel that Portal brings a lot.
I know, the Shell and Faith Mirror's Edge crossover.
Yeah, I think Portal is a feminist masterpiece for reasons that I don't even have time to explain here.
But for me,
But based on the arguments here,
Not a lot
though,
to do with Shell. So back to Richie.
I think Claudia did get the upper hand on this just by a little bit. But yeah, so Claudia wins round the fourth.
One word.
The fourth one.
Boobs.
Okay. Oh, sorry, that was the third one.
We're there.
But it means that it is 4-3. Claudia is in the lead with 4. So here's the thing then. If Claudia gets this next one right, she wins the game. Jackie must win the next 2 to win the game.
I believe.
All right. Question number 4. This multiple choice.
Oh my God.
Elder Scrolls or Fallout?
Fallout.
Oh my god. Sure, Elder Scrolls.
So that means let's do Elder Scrolls. Jackie,
This is a
20
terrible
seconds.
question.
Why Fallout over Elder Scrolls?
Fallout is such a great post-apocalyptic game where it has fun soundtrack. Hey, soundtrack. And it just leaves the soundtrack and everything just gives this great atmosphere of this great game, and I love it.
20 seconds, Claudia.
This is a terrible question because I don't know either of these games. I think
are pretty regular.
They're regular games, but they're new, and I don't know anything about them. And I think that this is a terrible game. That is my argument. Nope. That is my argument.
Okay, 10 seconds.
Did you restate your argument? We might have been shouting over.
Richie sucks.
Oh, well, that's definitely not how you win.
I know.
My rebuttal is my husband does not suck, and neither does Skyrim nor Fallout.
I didn't say that
But
those suck.
I
did not say those suck.
Oh, okay.
I did not say those suck.
I thought you said that.
No, I just said Richie suck. That's why.
Okay, well, let's start the 10-second rebuttal starts now for
3, 2,
Jackie.
1, go.
I think that Fallout is how do I rebuttal something that isn't even said? Fallout is great because
Therefore I win. I win!
Claudia, do you need 10-second rebuttal?
10-second rebuttal is that, yeah, sure, Fallout is cool, but Elder Scrolls sounds cooler.
Okay, I don't even need your guys' opinions. I think Jackie won this round.
I think Claudia really brought it home. No.
I'm just
You have to at
saying
least
that
try.
This is unfair in the sense that I didn't know. And so I'm just saying
It's
that
not unfair, Claudia. That's why it's called a speed round to judge the winner.
speed round so scary.
I'm not scared.
I'm terrified.
I'm not scared. I'm just clueless. And I will take all the hate because
You know, it's to be fair, I made Claudia do this.
he did.
Just
And
a
I
little bit out of
said,
her
Richie,
realm.
I don't know anything. And
If
he
we
knew
were
I
doing,
didn't know
if we were
anything.
doing,
Therefore,
what, Claudia? If we were doing like cosplay fights.
I don't know anything about cosplay either. I just
you do
it.
cosplay. You do cosplay.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I know everything about it. Do I know any known cosplayers?
What about Disney?
That would be something different.
Okay. Well, anyways, we got one question left.
Okay.
So,
I was gonna say, for someone who's doing awful, you are tied to win.
I know because I'm just a great person. But, you know.
Is this the question that you were all like, I hope it doesn't get to this?
it sure is.
Oh, great.
This is a big one that you guys know nothing about, neither
Dramatic
of you.
eye roll.
All right, guys, this is a tough question, and I need clear answers. Listen, Claudia, listen. The way that you play this game well is you pick something, even if you don't know it, you just pretend you lie your ass off and go with it.
But I can't lie out of my butt.
Too much of your time is like, oh, I don't know this. You gotta just.
I literally
pretend.
had nothing, Richie.
All right, here we go.
Nothing.
Question number 5. What was the best RPG of the 1990s?
Ooh,
Final
we already talked about
Fantasy?
some of those.
Which one?
What
Of the 90s. Of the 90s.
90s. I don't know what time they came out. Well, then we're gonna have to go with 8 because I did research on that one.
Okay. Claudia, best RPG of the 1990s.
Did World of Warcraft was in the 90s?
Nope.
Oh, well then, I don't know.
Wasn't it? No, it's 2003.
It's not.
I was a child.
There's no RPG that came out in the 90s that you could even just think of.
Sims?
That's not an
That's not an RPG.
What's role playing?
Final Fantasy. There's more Final Fantasies.
That's an argument if it's the same franchise.
I don't know, guys. Should I let her take Sims? Should I let her do Sims?
What about Super Mario
Whoa,
RPG?
you know what?
That's an RPG.
I mean, you're making a character.
It is a role-playing game in a weird sense. It's a simulation.
I'll if you guys can start, I'll say.
There's no other way to go.
By definition, it's a role-playing game.
Okay, so we got Final Fantasy 8 versus Sims 1, because that's what came out.
Sure, and I know about that.
But Jackie said it first, so Jackie gets her 20 seconds first.
Oh,
Unless I can actually make an argument.
All right, let me know.
3, 2, 1, Jackie.
All right, Final Fantasy VIII has a great story, and in Squall, you ride along with Squall and friends in this great Final Fantasy.
Okay, 20 seconds, Claudia.
I'm going to take it back to my argument about Star Wars, is that it's completely customizable with your own character. It was a platform that was unlike any other that you've ever seen before, and it paved the way for all other kinds of RPGs that are customizable like that.
10-second rebuttal, Jackie.
All right, The Sims wasn't all that customizable. You had a selection of 16 heads and 12 bodies, and you basically just have these Sims that don't age and don't really. It's just not.
Stop.
10 seconds, Claudia.
Well, did any Final Fantasy characters age? Because I don't remember that being a part of the franchise of them aging and having children and actually having lives besides just battling.
Yes.
Someone hasn't played Final Fantasy.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Time. Here's the thing. Let's go to Derek. Derek, what do you think?
Oh no. I just wrote down the word cloud.
Fuck you.
No,
That actually was my question.
from the aspect, I actually like.
I really don't know.
I actually like that you let Claudia in with The Sims because I think the term RPG just in general is very, very singular as far as we play.
I agree.
I think as far as the argument, who won on that one, it was Jackie.
some people might give me hate for this in the comments because of that, but I don't care. It's like Claudia's right. By definition, it is a role-playing game.
Yeah.
They might not classify it as an RPG, but
You gotta fight me too.
Okay,
All right,
so-
you gotta.
So Garrett, what do you think?
I am baffled that Jackie knew offhand the number of customizable slots in The Sims.
What's right?
I have yet to find an ability. I have yet to find a site with the specificity to confirm it.
I think she's right.
But that sounds really correct.
Because no one's played more Sims
Played
than
a
Jackie.
lot of Sims.
Yeah.
If I do find that is correct, and it's going to be close,
That's
regardless, because I played a lot of Sims 2, and Sims 2, and also Sims 2. Yeah, so that was good. I really am intrigued at the idea of Sims as an RPG. I did like that. Final Fantasy VIII, unbeatable story-driven narrative, though. Which one did I waste more time on? Sims.
Sure, but which of them had better argument?
Jackie's argument started out so weak and then got so strong, whereas Claudio's was pretty consistent the entire time. So, that being said, I don't know. Like, I would give it to Claudia absolutely if she had touched a little bit more on the role-playing element. I think Claudia did it. I think she edged out.
Derek,
Oh.
back to you. Jackie, so you picked Jackie, you picked Claudia.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's up to you now.
We're letting you do your job, Rich.
Yeah.
All right, here's what I heard. I heard you're right that Jackie did not come out strong at first, and Claudia came out really strong at first, and then it was kind of a reversal for me in the rebuttals where Jackie touched upon. What did you say in your rebuttal? I just remember being like, oh yeah.
She just said it wasn't as customizable as it seems.
Yeah, that's right, because that's, of course, yeah, she was kind of belittling the fact that there wasn't a whole lot of customization in The Sims. However, for 1999 or 98, I think it was 99 The Sims came out, I
think it was 99.
feel like
Just on the cusp.
I feel like that was okay at the time. However, Claudia didn't say that. That's just my
I
opinion.
didn't have very much time.
And again, this game has to be about the arguments. We cannot let personal, as much as I boast about personal opinion in between, I cannot do that while I'm
You have
judging
entire
this.
shows dedicated to personal opinion.
I have other shows dedicated to personal opinion. This one, it's not the matter, because I mean, I would pick very different answers during these video game fights if it was personal opinion. This is a real tough one. I really feel like it could go either way, but I just feel like just the fact that that Jackie could overanalyze that and kind of be like, well, it is an RPG, but is it really an RPG? Again, I
That
allowed
wasn't
it.
her argument.
That's what she was trying to say by the lack of customization versus Final Fantasy VIII, which is like a true blue JRPG, and I just, that was the thing I didn't hear, and I know Claudia, it sucks because you'd never played Final Fantasy, but if I just heard one or two things about why Final Fantasy was not a superior RPG to The Sims,
but I know nothing about it.
I know, but that's
So how could
them's the
I?
breaks on the speed round. So
Nothing.
Unfortunately for you, I gotta go with Jackie, which means that Jackie wins the game.
But if you do,
Like, how can I lie? We literally have someone who will.
Then you gotta step in. You're in. You might not be for a while until we get to championships.
all right.
I would say that hell would freeze over in like one fight.
The unbeatable brain of video games. I would.
Wait,
Yeah.
you think I'm
The unbeatable brain of video games, and you married Rich Alvarez?
Well, he hasn't.
That's another debate.
I haven't played one yet. I've just been judging. Well, guys, that brings us to pretty much the end of our show. Thank you so much for watching our third ever episode of Video Game Fights. Now, before we end, I'm going to go around the table like I do and get everybody's social media so that if there's anything they want to shout out, they can shout out. All right, Jackie, is there anything that you want people to find on the internet?
Yeah, I'm Jax, and I am definitely screwed when it comes to the championship round of this. But I would love it if you would go to jaxmakesthings.etsy.com and buy some of my things, because it would make me feel a lot better.
Because she made it.
That. Claudia, where can people find you on the interwebs?
Well, as you guys mentioned before, I do cosplay, so you can find me on Facebook at Cricket Fantasy. art and cosplay if you search it, or through the URL will be Cricket Fantasy Cosplay Art.
Awesome. Derek Colson, where can they find you?
That's me. You can find actually me and the fact checker over at the complaint department.
Fact checker has a name.
Don't objectify it.
It's fine. He goes by GWFight40 online, and myself goes by D Rockefeller. We have been streaming recently. Come find us. The complaint department at Twitch.
All right. Well, that is going to do us for Video Game Fights, and I just want to say congratulations to Jackie, and then Claudia and Derek. I want you guys to come back one of these days and refight,
Never.
We'll do a Disney
Not
special.
in your life.
A Disney special.
Thank you, but no thank you.
Derek, we'll see you, of course, on the fact-checking cam every other week. And no, Claudia, absolutely. One of these days we are going to have a Disney round, so I definitely want you
I'm
to
sure
come
me
back
and
to
Derek
that.
would do well with that one. I would say that.
All right, well, that's going to do us for
Yeah, see,
Video Game Fights.
I'd sink like an anchor in a Disney round because I don't know anything compared to what you guys
It
have.
was fun. I'll give you that, and I'm surprised by how far I did go. And thank you for the opportunity.
Yes.
But also, I hate your guts. So thank you.
Oh, come on. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on anyway. All right. Well, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed Video Game Fights. This is, again, if I hadn't said already, because I think we're trying to figure out where it's establishing, because as of the recording of this episode, I still have not put up an episode online. But by the time you see this episode, you'll have seen the first two. And I think that we finally decided on, it'll be uploaded at noon on Saturdays, because of upload times and internet speeds. I can't guarantee the exact time, but it'll be about noon Pacific Standard Time. So I just want to say, be sure to watch Video Game Fights every noon, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's noon on the West Coast in California.
Saturdays.
It's 3 o'clock in New York. But anyways, go ahead and watch it every Saturday. Every Saturday. Every
time zone.
Did I not say Saturday?
No, you
Okay,
really.
sorry. Every single Saturday, watch Video Game Fights. It's the best time you'll spend on Saturday. That includes better than time spent with your parents, better than time with your children. Watch Video Game Fights.
Oh my god.
All right, guys, I'm Rich Alvarez. You can find me, of course, on Instagram at Rich M. Alvarez, at Rich M. Alvarez. All right, bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for watching Video Game Fights. Let us know in the comments below what you thought of this episode, and watch this video because it's really sweet.